The Ohio State Buckeyes just got a massive gift. I'm Paul, and together with my buddy Aaron, we are the Big Ten guys, bringing you all things Big Ten, best news, analysis, hot takes, insight, anything you want Big Ten, this is the channel to be. So take a quick second, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss what we're putting out. Might as well like and put alerts on too. We got a lot of good things coming this summer. If you are a fan of any Big Ten team, this is the channel for you. So let's dive right into it. Our good buddy Paul Feinbaum came out and made a bold guarantee about the Texas Longhorns. And now, your first thought's going to be like, how is that a gift for Ohio State? But I'm going to get into that. So let's first talk about what he said. So he comes out and he says, I am as married to Arch Manning as an old geezer like me can be to a young, great college quarterback. But I like everything about him. So first off, it's a little creepy, for being honest. 60-some-year-old man, 20-year-old college student, just there's got to be a better way to say that. Like, you can say you like the guy without getting a little creepy like that. So Feinbaum, I don't have anything else to say. But then he goes on and he says they're not going to probably beat Ohio State. They are definitely going into Columbus to beat Ohio State. That is a bold guarantee to make about a team heading on the road to play the defending national champions. And here's why I think it's actually a good thing for Ohio State. It's bulletin board material. You saw in the playoffs last year, if you put a chip on the shoulder of this Ohio State team, they are going to make you pay. Now, if you've ever caught this show before, I'm actually a Michigan fan, so please don't hold that against me. I'm here to try to be as unbiased as I can. And I'm not even going to bring up why they had a chip on your shoulder. We don't need to talk about it. It's a new year. I'll let you try and figure out why Ohio State was mad at the end of last season. But what we saw is they went into the playoffs and they just ran Tennessee off the field. They blew out Oregon. They beat this Texas team. And then they beat Notre Dame as well on their way to just cruise to a national championship. You could see they were motivated, they were angry, they were playing hard. And I think giving them bulletin board material like this is going to set them up to do the same thing week one when they play Texas. And not only does Ohio State as a team have that kind of bulletin board material, but not a lot of people are talking about Julian Sayin, their new QB coming in. Now, he originally committed to Alabama and then transferred to Ohio State. But if you go back and look at his recruitment, he was strongly considering Texas. And Texas, they recruited him, but it was like as soon as they felt like they could get Arch Manning, they were all in on Arch Manning. And as soon as they got Arch Manning, Sayin was done. Like, Arch Manning was their priority. Sayin was their consolation prize, and I think ultimately that's why he ended up choosing Bama. So I think he has a lot to prove. Everyone going into this game is talking about Arch Manning. Paul Feinbaum saying he wants to, he's trying to marry the guy. Like, people love Arch Manning. Julian Sayin, since he's been in high school, has just been hearing Arch Manning, Arch Manning, Arch Manning. And I think he's going to come out and try to say, like, hey, I'm a 5-star too. I'm a future NFL quarterback too, and I think he's going to come into the game with a massive chip on your shoulder. So real quick, Ohio State fans, love to hear from you in the comments what your predictions are. What's going to be the score against Texas? What do we need to look out for? What are the big things that are going to decide that game? And I'm going to dive into that game a little bit more here. So another big thing that I think a lot of people are sleeping on is Ohio State's defense. There's been a lot of talk about, Ohio State lost so many players to the NFL. They're going to be a completely different team. They're bringing back Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, but their defense is not going to be the same. But Caleb Downs disagrees, and he brings up a great point that there's a lot of people who contributed last year and a lot of people who played last year who, they were probably 4 or 5 stars getting recruited. They're ready to show that they can play at this level too. I mean, in Caleb Downs, he's seen some Bama defenses. He's seen some Ohio State defenses. He has been around good defense. He knows what he's talking about, and he says this defense can be every bit as good as last year. That's a big statement from him, but, I think we'll see. And, as for Texas, they lost a lot of players to the NFL as well. If we take a look at some of their big contributors last year, obviously, for one, I think we've talked about it on this show before if you've caught us. If Arch Manning is, the next amazing quarterback, why didn't he start last year? Like, why did they choose to play Quinn Ewers over him? If he was truly as special as everyone says, why was he on the bench behind, what was Ewers, a 7th-round pick? And, these numbers look impressive, but a lot of it's garbage time. A lot of it's, in their cupcake games. I'll be curious to see how he does. I think if he was truly as elite as Feinbaum thinks he is, he would have played last year over Ewers. But then you look at them, Jaden Blue is gone. Wisner, he had more carries, but he averaged less yards, way less touchdowns. He's not going to be as good as Jaden Blue was. Down at the receivers, you got, Matthew Golden's gone. Gunnar Helm is gone. Isaiah Bond is gone. You got Wingo and Moore are probably going to be their top 2 returning receivers. I think they got Emmett Mosley, a transfer from Stanford. He should be okay. But, Arch Manning does not have the weapons that Ewers had last year. Whereas if you look at the Buckeyes, Julian Sand, he's still got one of the best receivers I've ever watched in college football. He's still got Carnell Tate. They brought in Max Clare, the tight end for Purdue. That was the only good thing Purdue had going from him. And he left him for Ohio State. I think this Ohio State offense is going to surprise some people right out the gate. And Texas lost a lot of defensive starters too, so I'm not completely sold that Ohio State is the one who should be worried about, who they lost to the NFL and who's coming back. Because, I didn't even talk about it. On the defensive side of the ball, they brought in Bo Atkinson from UNC, who I think he had 7.5 sacks last year. He's going to be a huge addition to the pass rush. Going to be in Arch Manning's grill all day long. I think Paul Feinbaum and others are grossly underestimating what Ohio State is going to be returning this year. So, and then you look at Ohio State's schedule here. If they're at home. I think they're going to pull it out. I'm going to say 34-24 Ohio State. I like them to win by 10 points in that game. And, like I said, drop your predictions in the comments as well. Love to hear from you guys. But then, Grambling, I don't even know who that is. Ohio, they're probably an easy 5-0. Sneaky tough game at Illinois, but I like them there. And then, obviously, you got Penn State and you got at Michigan are going to be the 2 big games. But if they win this here, you might as well just pencil them into the playoffs and probably a top 4 seed, probably in the Big Ten championship again. No Oregon on the schedule this year, which is going to be nice. But, I think I think Texas fans and the Texas coaching staff has to be kicking themselves looking at Paul Feinbaum giving reasons for Ohio State to have bulletin board material. I think this is going to be a huge motivator for the Buckeyes, and I think they're going to win that game no problem. So thanks again for watching. Big Ten guys, this is where you want to be for all things Big Ten. Please like, subscribe, get those alerts on. See ya.